So everyone wants the magic number. How do you turn $1,000 into $100,000 in crypto? Is it 100x even possible anymore, or are those days behind us? Well, here's the truth. It's still possible, but it's not going to come from Bitcoin or Ethereum. Welcome back to another episode of JRNY TV. My name is Nick, and this is where we cut through the noise and break down what actually matters in the crypto space. Today we are diving into what it actually takes to pull off a 100x gain, the mindset you're going to need, and why it is riskier but more possible than most people think. We're also going to walk through how to spot high risk, high reward plays, how to protect your portfolio, and what separates the lucky shots from the strategic wins. In the next section, we're going to explore why you will not find a 100x in the top 10 coins and what kinds of projects actually give you that level of upside in 2025's crypto cycle. Why top 10 coins won't give you 100x gains. Let's be real. If you're hoping to turn $1,000 into $100,000, the top 10 crypto projects probably aren't going to get you there. Sure, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana could do a solid 5x to 10x in a strong bull market, but they're already massive. The higher the market cap, the harder it is to move that needle by 100x. That doesn't mean that they are not all great long-term plays, but if you're aiming for life-changing returns, you need to be looking at smaller, riskier, and earlier stage projects. 100x returns almost always come from coins that start off under the radar. We're talking microcap tokens, early pre-sales, or projects that are launching on new chains. The trick is that they're riskier, they're more volatile, and often surrounded by hype with very little fundamental backing. But that's also where the opportunity tends to lie. If you catch the right trend at the right time, the gains can be exponential. So the key takeaway here is if you're going to chase a 100x gain, don't expect it to come from a blue chip giant. They're strong, they're stable, but they're not going to deliver your moonshots. Instead, you're going to have to explore the altcoin trenches where things are wild, fast moving, and hold your breath, full of both danger and opportunity. The 100x zone, going deeper into high risk altcoins. If you're serious about a 100x, you need to step into the wild world of crypto. Seriously, because this isn't about casually buying a trending token off a top exchange. This is about diving into low cap projects, new token launches, experimental tech, and the memes with viral potential. Those tokens, they usually start with market caps under $10 million, and they can explode if they catch the right momentum. And let's be clear, it takes more work, more research, more risk, and a hell of a lot more patience. The truth is, even the best crypto investors, they miss more than they hit in this zone. You might go 0 for 5 or 10 before you land one coin that changes everything. And that's okay, because the strategy isn't about being perfect. This is about spotting asymmetric opportunities. That one win can easily cancel out the losses from the rest. Just look at past cycles. Those who aped into Sheeb, Doge, or even early Pepe didn't need 10 good plays. They just needed one great one. To succeed here, you're gonna need to think like a venture capitalist. What's the team like? Is the community real and growing fast? Does the token have a narrative that can catch fire, like AI, like meme coins, gaming, real-world assets, etc.? And most importantly, is it still early? Because timing is everything. It matters quite a bit. Jumping in too late, you'll be exit liquidity. Jump in too early without conviction, and you'll get shaken out. Bottom line, if you are fishing for 100x gains, you've got to leave the safety of the harbor. And this is where the real chaos and the real opportunity thrive. But only if you're willing to do the homework. One 100x makes up for everything. So here's that good old truth. You don't need 10 100x plays. You just need one solid, well-timed, high conviction investment that can offset a dozen failed ones. And then some. That's the asymmetric nature of crypto investing. It's why so many people are drawn to this space in the first place. The upside potential isn't just high, it is life-changing. But you won't find those gains playing it safe or expecting those instant wins. Some of the biggest 100x plays in history came from tokens that people laughed at or ignored early on. Think Sheeb, Pepe, or even early BNB. They all started as underdogs, and most people didn't even believe in them until it was too late. The people who made it in those plays, they didn't just get lucky, okay? They had conviction. They studied the projects. They took calculated risks, and they held strong through that volatility. Those bear markets are incredibly uncomfortable, but that's the formula. That's the research. That's the timing, and that's the patience. But let's not sugarcoat it. It's not easy. Holding through the noise when everyone else is telling you to sell, or sticking with a project when it dips 50%, it takes nerves of steel. Most 100x coins don't just skyrocket in a straight line. They do a 5x, drop back down, consolidate for months, then rip again. That's where most people get shaken out. The system is designed for that, but you've got to be the one who stays in the game. So if you're hunting the 100x, remember, it's a grind, but when it hits, it's worth every sleepless night, every correction, and every doubter who said it would never happen. Do not go all in. Protect your portfolio. When chasing your massive upside, regardless of any project, it is easy to get swept up in the hype and go all in on the next guaranteed moonshot. Wake up, okay? Let's be real. That's exactly how people get wrecked. The smartest investors, the most strategic ones, they treat 100x hunting as just one part of a much broader strategy. You should only risk a small percentage of your overall portfolio. Think 5 to 10% max on ultra low cap, high risk plays. The rest should stay in solid long-term projects with real fundamentals. Remember those things? Fundamentals. Yeah. Having that balance not only protects your capital, but it also keeps you emotionally in check. And if you go too heavy on a high risk coin and it drops 70%, you are more likely to panic sell. But if that's just a small slice of your portfolio, you can ride out the volatility more comfortably and let the trade breathe. That is where the real gains come from. Patience, not panic. Newsflash, diversification is your shield. One more time, diversification is your shield. You don't know which coin is going to blow up next. Nobody does. And that's why spreading your bets across a few promising projects is key. Even if most of them go to zero, it only takes one to hit and completely change your financial trajectory. That is the math behind asymmetric returns. And it's what makes crypto so powerful when played right. So go ahead, hunt for that 100x, but don't lose the bigger picture. Zoom out. The goal isn't just to win big once. It's to stay in the game long enough to win again and again. Study past 100x projects. Success, it leaves clues. If you are dead serious about finding the next 100x crypto gem, then you need to start with one key principle: reverse engineer success. Look at the projects that have already made those insane runs. Pepe, Sol, Sheeb, or even Matic. What do they all have in common? Because it's usually a mix of perfect timing, committed communities, strong narratives, and sometimes it's just straight up meme magic. Either way, some coins went parabolic because they launched during hype waves. Others because they had real tech or a disruptive idea. A few even caught fire thanks to powerful influencers or even unique tokenomics that created strong holding incentives. And then there are other projects that simply looked fun and created a culture around them. All of that matters when trying to predict which low cap coin could make the next leap. You should also pay attention to marketing and community building. Most 100x coins weren't the best tech on the block, but they knew how to grab the attention, rally the supporters, and generate the viral momentum. Hype isn't everything, but it is often the spark that sets a project on fire. So if you see a new project with solid branding, a killer hook, and a very active community before it hits the mainstream, you may just be early. At the end of the day, it's not about copying past plays, but rather about understanding the formula and spotting similar patterns before the crowd. And that's how you go from another investor to someone with an edge. Have conviction, but don't be blind. If you're chasing that elusive 100x, conviction is key, but it has to be grounded in reality because the biggest winners in crypto, they often take time. A project might first 5x, then 10x, and then just sit there, doing nothing for months. Many investors get impatient and bail right before the next big wave. This is exactly where the strong conviction will separate those who will make life-changing gains from those who will simply walk away early. But conviction doesn't mean blind loyalty, okay? Keep tabs on the project's fundamentals. Is the team still building? Are they still shipping? Is the community still active? Are partnerships growing? Are they thriving? If the answer is yes, it may just be a matter of time before the momentum kicks back in. This is where real research, it pays off. History shows us that most 100x tokens don't go up overnight. They rallied in phases. Explosive growth, consolidation, rinse and repeat. Think of it like surfing. The waves, they come and go, but you need to stay on the board long enough to ride the one wave that brings you all the way in to shore. Patience, strategy, and a firm grip on reality. That is the winning combo where conviction meets opportunity. Don't go at this alone. Be sure to join a community. Trying to navigate the crypto space solo, it's like exploring a jungle without a map. Sure, you can do it, but your chances of success, they tend to skyrocket when you surround yourself with experienced people. You know, the ones who have been through certain things that you're about to go through. And that's where the communities like Trade Hero come in. So whether you're trying to find the next 100x, learn new trading strategies, or avoid obvious scams, being part of a solid group it can give you the edge that you need to be successful. And in Trade Hero, you're not just getting tips, you're gaining access to real-time analysis, portfolio building strategies, and insights from people who have been through multiple market cycles. There's a massive difference between reacting emotionally, alone, and making data-driven decisions as a team. Plus, it is way easier to stay motivated when you see others winning and learning alongside you. A tight-knit crypto community can be your early radar. You'll hear about promising projects long before they hit Twitter, X, or YouTube. And you'll get real-time feedback or analysis on whether or not something feels a bit off. And that kind of shared knowledge is invaluable. So if you're serious about turning 1K into something life-changing, don't just go at this alone. Surround yourself with the winners, learn from them, contribute to the conversation, and watch how quickly your perspective and results start to shift. Test, learn, and repeat. Before you go all in on any crypto strategy, especially one hunting for 100x returns, you need to test the waters. And that means experimenting with small amounts, tracking performance, and learning what works for you. It's different for everyone. Every single investor has a different style, and part of that game is figuring out your own rhythm. Are you better at catching short-term momentum plays, or maybe you're better at spotting undervalued gems before the crowd catches on? Either way, testing those strategies in real time helps force you to sharpen your instincts and refine your decision-making over time. It also helps you build emotional discipline because nothing teaches patience and risk control like having some skin in the game. Even if it's just a small position, every bit helps. But more importantly, when you treat crypto like a craft instead of a casino, you start to develop an edge. You learn how to identify hype versus substance. You start noticing patterns in token launches, liquidity moves, and community sentiment that others miss. And when you combine this learning with the support group like Trade Hero, you're not just testing in the dark. You're testing alongside people who can give you feedback, challenge your thinking, and help you level up in real time. That's how you stack the odds in your favor on the way to that 100x. Look, turning $1,000 into $100,000 in crypto, it's no easy task, but it is far from impossible. People have done it, many have done it, and it'll be done again. Some with a single coin, others with a series of smart plays over time. The difference between those who have made it and those who haven't? Discipline, patience, and strategy. Oh yeah, and sometimes a little luck. But more than anything, it takes commitment and a willingness to stay in the game, keep learning, and ride those waves even when things get rough. Because they will get rough. And if you want to chase that 100x, don't do it alone. Join a strong community like Trade Hero. Utilize the tools like Archer to get in and out of trades efficiently. And always play the long game mindset. Because in crypto, one good move can change your whole life. But it's the preparation and the persistence that are behind the scenes that make every single move possible. So stay sharp, stay hungry, and keep stacking those smart plays. Your 100x, it may be a lot closer than you think. As always, this is JRNY TV. Stay early, stay informed, and we will catch you in the next one.